Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Silvertron, and welcome to the next episode of the TekTopia Survival Guide. I've been really looking forward to this episode because I wanted to show off this fancy little hat. So, what we have here on our head is a Patreon exclusive. Um, it is a diamond hat that you can make look like a rancher hat. So, I've been saving up some books so I can enchant this, and the reason I'm wearing it today is that we're going to talk a little bit about the rancher and the butcher. So, first thing I wanted to do was to show you a bit before we get started. So the rancher, because he takes care of all the animals, is going to eat into your crops. So you want to make sure you've got a good supply of crops before you do this. So we're doing good on carrots and potatoes. Wheat's not the best, and considering cows and sheep eat that, it may be a little bit difficult. The other thing is seeds. We've been saving seeds because these are going to be used for our chickens. Now, the rancher animal pens are some of the easiest structures to build. All you really need are fences and fence gates. So, I'm going to get started, build a couple of pens for these animals, and I'll be back with you shortly. And we're done. So, I wanted to explain a few things before we actually got started. So, the rancher animal pens have a unique number value associated with them. So, for the chicken coop, count the interior floor spaces. So in here we have 18. So every one of these floor spaces will support one chicken. Once that reaches full, the ranchers will stop feeding them or only feed them so they don't die. They won't breed anymore. For these other three, which is going to be cows, sheep, and pigs, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. So for every 3 tiles, it can support 1 animal. So in here, I think we have the ability for 12 animals. The same with the pigs. And for the sheep, I made it a little bit bigger because we want to get wool. It's one of the resources we can harvest without actually killing the animal that the rancher will get. And for that, you want to make sure you give your ranchers some shears. The blacksmith will eventually craft these for you, but it's good to start them out with some. The other thing I wanted to show you was the placement of the icon. So you can see on these 3, I have them next to the side, and this one over here, I have it up top. So it can be in any of those positions. It will be a valid animal pen. So we will wait till morning and hopefully... Oh, we actually wait. The last thing we want to do is, you can see I've got some chickens roaming around. I threw some eggs and just waited till I got a few of them. The other thing you want to do is make sure that the ranchers can access these other animals that I've been saving over here. So I'm going to tear this down, let our ranchers gather these guys up, and I will be back shortly. So as you can see, the rancher, one of his priorities is to grab loose animals that are out here. There's a problem with this, though, is that these won't be recognized as villager animals, which, once they start breeding, won't be much of a problem. The next thing I wanted to show you, though, was their AI. So you've got feeding all 4 types of animals. It's kind of in priority order. Then it's milking cows, which we really don't need because we don't have a cook right now for making cakes. Shearing sheep, which will come in handy to sell to the traveling merchant. So we're going to keep that on. And then reading in the library, returning the lost animals like they're doing right now, and then visiting the tavern. So what I'm going to do is I need to go run some errands. So I'm going to go AFK at our fisher, hopefully repair our pick a little bit. It's running a bit low. And I will be back once I return. So it's been about 4 hours since I last went AFK, and I come back, and I'm not too happy with what I'm seeing. And let me tell you why. First, my pick's not repaired because my mouse got moved, so I wasn't aiming at the right spot on the AFK Fisher. And the second thing I noticed after that, after I came out here and looked, was that's not a lot of animals. What's going on? So I look at my messages in-game, and a couple of animals have starved to death. So here's the thing about ranchers and animals in general, is they are very, very hard to balance, getting that right ratio of how many animals, how big are the pens, how many ranchers do I need. So I've already done one thing. I've turned that last nitwit into a rancher, so now we will have 3. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate the pig pen and the cow pen. So the reason why I chose these 2 is because of the resources you get from these animals. So the chickens, even without killing them, will produce eggs, and the sheep will produce wool, and those are both items we can trade to the merchant. The other thing I noticed while I was away is I had a couple of mopey villagers right before the moon came up. So I wanted to check one thing in here. Yeah, we are completely out of chicken. I was afraid this would happen. So what I'm going to do is I've got some food over there in the town hall. I'm going to fill this up with some other mutton and chicken and pork and things. I'm going to AFK for a bit longer, and I'll be back with you as soon as I get some more animals so I can show you the last thing with these guys. So before I show you the fruits of my many hours of AFKing, I wanted to show you the butcher. So because I turned that other nitwit into a rancher, I went ahead and I converted 3 more hearts into children, and one of them I used to make this butcher. So this is the butcher's AI right here. So first and foremost, they're going to butcher animals. It's kind of in their name. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to use leather that they collect from killing cows to craft some armor. You can use these items to trade to the merchant. I don't want to do that right now because I kind of want to save the leather for books for my enchanter and my teacher to use. Like the lumberjacks, they will craft a wooden axe if there are no other better axes available in the storage, using wood that the lumberjack collects. Like other villagers, they read in a library and they also visit the tavern. So the other thing is down here is retrieving the animals. So this is how you control what animals you want the butcher to take. Like let's say you don't want them to kill all your sheep because you're using that for wool, only kill pigs. So you would uncheck everything but, or excuse me, you would uncheck sheep. There you go. And now they won't kill the sheep. So as soon as it's daylight, I'll be back and I'll show you the many things I have done since we last spoke. Now that it's daytime, you can see how much time I had to spend AFKing. And not only did I repair most of my tools, I've used them a bit since then, but I also built the butcher, and I built a second layer to our crop farms. So let me explain this a bit before we get started on everything else. What I've done is I've just done the exact same 2x2, 9x9 design up top. Just, I think 3 blocks of space in between, but I've kind of inverted the crops. So on the lower level, wheat's here and potatoes are there, but I've just flipped them, and I've done the same with the beets and the carrots. I did this mostly because of the wheat. We weren't really getting much, and we were using a lot of it for the sheep, so hopefully that helps with the production. So now let me show you one of the cool things that Tango added, and I'm actually going to go into third-person view to show you. So when you get close to the animal pen, villager animals will glow. So as you can see, there is a sheep right there in the center that isn't glowing. So that was one of our first sheep in here. It wasn't a villager animal. Oh man, poor buddy. It wasn't a villager animal, so it's not glowing. And the cool thing is that the butcher should prioritize killing those ones first. Now, it's not going to result in villager green item meat, but it will help out a lot. And since our butcher is close by, let's go ahead and activate that. There goes cool. And with that, the butcher's done. You need absolutely nothing inside here unless you want to craft leather goods. Then you just need to put a crafting table down. So I'm going to stand around here for a minute, and hopefully we can catch the butcher in action. Oh, there she goes. There's the butcher grabbing a sheep. Now, one thing I haven't explained yet is that the butcher will only start to grab animals from a pen. Ooh. Oh, that was rough. The butcher will only start to grab animals from a pen when it's 75% full. So, rough math, if this pen can hold 18 chickens, that's about 14. It's the same with the sheep. And for the cow pen and the pig pen, 12 is the number that it can hold, so right around when it gets 9 or above, it should start to grab the pigs. One last thing I wanted to show before I called it for this video is how much wool you actually get. So, wool supplies go up very fast. Each one of these stacks will trade for 7 emeralds each, and then stacks of 16 eggs will trade for 2 emeralds each. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I think next time we might do the chef, maybe the blacksmith. I'm running a little bit low on iron, and it's been rough trying to supply our villagers, but I'll see you next time.